Guess whose birthday it is? Mine!
Going where the fair winds blow, our home is where the waters flow. We'll show you what we've come to know on board while sailing wisdom.
Okay, so this is a really cool energy-saving thing that they do in Portugal. This escalator has been out of use, so therefore it's running super slow. It's like in standby mode. Woo. It speeds up.
So cool. Today we're doing something really exciting. We're in Porto, right? Home of port wine. So we've booked a tour and we're going to get 7 wine tastings on this tour, as well as a lowdown of the history of port wine, and we're gonna learn all about how it's made, and it's just gonna be really cool.
It's gonna be our first stop of our wine tasting and tour.
Video recording or photography was unfortunately not allowed inside the Ramos Pinto Museum, but it was a very interesting tour of one of the latest people to come to the port wine game. Ramos Pinto made a very big name for himself in port wine by being amazing and standout in advertising. His wine became especially popular in Brazil. We are now going down into the wine cellars. Whoa. Ramos Pinto was a man in the 1800s who decided to start his Porto wine house very late in the game. And since he was so late in the game, he needed ways to stand out in the business. And one of the ways he did that was to actually sell to Brazilians in Brazil. He was the first to actually bottle his wines to sell overseas. He had a very elaborate marketing and advertising campaign, which was way beyond his time, all based on shock and the combination of Christianity and naked women and temptation. So this is a really interesting museum. This is his house. We're in Gaia, which is across the river from Porto, and it's where all of the port wine lodges are.
His marketing campaign was just pure clickbait. It was boobs, naked women, and wine.
It worked, too.
Yeah, it worked.
We can only produce and call port wine in this space over here. Anywhere else in the world, it's copies of our wine. We can only produce port wine on the Trofeo. Okay? Now we are over here in Gaia, on the other side of the river, that's Porto, and 120 kilometers starts the Trofeo. Goes all the way with the border of Spain, but again, Spanishes cannot do port wine. Now, on a table wine, a stilled wine, that has a duration of 10 to 15 days to conclude the fermentation. On port wine, there's a secret. We're going to stop the fermentation between the 2nd or maximum 5th day. We're going to add a really strong drink called aguardente vitícola, a wine-growing spirit that has 77 degrees of alcohol on it. And that's going to do 2 things for our wines. First, it's going to stop the fermentation. Second, it's going to maintain all the natural sugar from the grapes. That is why port wine is really sweet, but also really strong. Now, like I explained to you, we have 2 kinds of barrels. First, the big ones, the vats of 30,000 liters, where the white and the ruby will age. On those 2, since it's a big volume, the wine will not have water contact with the oak, with the wood, and the wine will not have water contact with the oxygen. So it's going to maintain the primary or the original characteristics of the wine. The tawny, completely different. So, small barrels, maximum 700 liters, a lot of contact with the oak, with the wood, a lot of contact with the oxygen. It's going to develop secondary characteristics. Translation, it's on a constant change. Because of the oxygen, the color will get lighter every year. That means, as older a tawny is, as lighter the color will be. And because of the contact with the oak, with the wood, it's going to gain hundreds of flavors.
We're supposed to drink the white one first. Oh, it's really good.
Is to do this. Nicely to smells after the wine is over. So you should first pass the wine from one cheek to the other. Okay, not like mouthwash and all that.
Rosa.
Oh, that sounds okay. Yeah, just checking, right?
Okay, we've currently had 3 wines.
Yes, we've had a Tawny.
Tanny.
Tawny. We've had a Tawny, a white, and a ruby. They're all very different. They're all delicious.
And very strong. We're about to go have 4 more.
Okay, and we will also go to the coolest place in Gaia, in Cais de Gaia, the rooftop.
Very good. Especially when I do my swishy.
It's not like the
Really
one
good,
in
it's
Ramos
mild.
Pinto. It's not as sweet.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's completely different. You don't have honey. You know why it's why it appears? You know why frozen port wine appears? Port wine was going through a crisis. You know? Port wine was going through a crisis.
I like the other one better.
Port wine.
The color of the wine actually comes from the grape skins. So they use the
And
skins
it's
for the
not the lady's
color,
wine.
and then as soon as it's the color they want, they take out the skins. And this is a rosé, which is very unique and new for port. It's not a mixture of red and white port wine. It's just the skins that make it pink. It's made with red grapes, but in the same fashion that white wine is made.
Alright, we've had 6 glasses of port wine and they are very strong. Very amazing. And we're going to go have our 7th on the rooftop. So this is a street artist that came to Portugal, and actually I think he is Portuguese.
Yes.
And he's done the rabbit here, and in Lisbon he's apparently done a fox and a raccoon. And he does it out of trash and stuff built into the city. The whole idea is to like create awareness about the environment and our impact on the environment.
And in creating awareness about the environment, he has actually become quite the well-known and famous artist. So here in Porto, they just have the rabbit, but he's well sought after in Italy and other places throughout Europe. So he's actually become quite a famous artist and made a name for himself. So our tour guide told us to find the rabbit, and we have found the rabbit. That was fun. Wasn't that a good tour?
That was awesome.
We should talk about it.
Not away from the sun. That way you guys don't have to look at a silhouette of us. Woo! Now we're walking backwards.
Oh, stop.
Wow.
Okay, just stop walking.
Had a lot of port wine.
Stop. Sometimes it is really worth it to just bite the bullet and spend a little extra money to get the tour. So we did that. We got the tour, and we learned about port wines, and we learned how to drink port wines. And
so good.
We got 7 tastings of port wines, which is a lot because port is very alcoholic. It's very strong. There were about 19% alcohol.
19 to 22.
Yes. We try to travel in the least expensive way possible so that we can save money and
then travel further.
But there are certain things that are really worth the extra little. That tour was 31 euros a piece. So it was the cheapest port wine tour that I could find online that had very good reviews.
And it was amazing.
And it was really great. Our tour guide was wonderful. She was animated, and I just felt like we learned a lot about the culture and about port wine. A day well spent for sure. Now
Plus,
we're gonna go to find a Franceschina, which is a very famous.
It's a traditional Portuguese sandwich.
Yes.
It's pretty much everything of cholesterol and heart attack piled up between bread and then covered in gravy. So the locals have found a fun thing. Apparently a long time ago they used to jump into the river for fun. And then with all these tourists coming around, they realized that people will pay them to jump into the river off the bridge. So now
they wait till they reach a certain amount.
It could be like 50 or 100 euros. Yeah.
And then they jump.
Yep.
So they've turned it into a lucrative tourist attraction.
They've found places that they can jump and safely get out of the water. Apparently there was an American tourist not too long ago that decided to jump in and never made it back to shore because jumping off bridges is a bad life choice. Boa tarde. Você conhece onde fica o Café Avis?
That was a very successful day in Porto, I think.
Oh, it was delicious of the day.
It was a delicious day. We're headed home now. We're really tired. It's been a day well spent, but we gotta go back to the boat and watch the Vikings before we go to bed.
Good, everything's perfect.
Now we need to cut the new mattress pad. I made a super healthy dinner tonight. And it will be accompanied by this delicious wine from Terceira, which I bought purely because the label was really pretty, but it actually is really good. Guess whose birthday it is? Mine! Herby is 33 today. It is July 22nd. And he's got some cards here from family.
Yeah, the cards kind of had a rough go because, you know, crossing an ocean. But yes, they gave me cards and a present and all these things to open today on my birthday.
And we waited like good people. That's a nice shirt.
Oh. Well, this is what I'm wearing today because it's kind of cold right now. Thanks, Vanessa and Dave.
All right, so for Herby's birthday, we're doing what he wants, which is just kind of hanging around here.
Taking it easy, a relaxed day. Yesterday, we cleaned, we did varnish, we did oil on the wood. Like, we did all these projects to get the boat nice and pretty, so that today, we don't have to.
Today, there's some things we need to check out, we want to check out, and we're going to do some shopping. So, we're getting a bit of a late start, but that's alright. That's pretty par for the course for us. First stop, as always, is the train station. We've been really enjoying that luxury of having the train station so close. And being able to just walk there and end up in Porto, it's really great. It's a gray day, but every day can't be beautiful. Now I'm just drinking my fuel so that I can be present for the rest of our little day here.
So where are we?
We are at the Iglesia de San Francisco, I think. Feels weird to step on.
Yeah, she does. So we're
right now in the Catacombs of the brother of the guy who built this house. That's how I understood it, and wow, beautiful. Catacombs are always really creepy. Ooh, why do they have to have skulls? Walls as well. Well, I definitely have never seen that many human bones in my life. Moving on. This is somebody's dining room?
Yeah, this is a house or a palace.
So this house where we were just in was the dispatch house of St. Francis for the church, affiliated with the church. The catacombs we were in is called the Brothers' Graveyard, and the house was 18th century. And the significance of the church we're about to go into is that it was the first neoclassical church in Porto. This church dates back to the 14th century, and we weren't allowed to take video inside, but just to give you an idea, if you're at all familiar with Baroque style, it's just lavish and full. The walls were just covered in wood carvings, very high relief wood carvings, covered in gold leaf, and very intricate, very almost garish, just like the typical Baroque style. This is the kind of stuff I love. Get off one street away from the tourist street and you find where the people live and where the people have lived for hundreds of years. This is where the real history is. This is the stuff that's fun to see. It turned out that this was one of the oldest houses in Porto, dating from the 13th century, and that we had stumbled upon the oldest neighborhood in the city.
Maddie's favorite thing to do is find the oldest town and then find the oldest neighborhood in it and then wander around. And the only thing better than an ancient town is a huge staircase.
It's taking you up into the town to probably a view, and they're old stairs. Closed now because it's late noon, so we will be coming back, but behind me is the cathedral and next to me is the bishop's palace, which dominates the whole city. We're at the top right now.
Departing and all, and hopping off the pier, it fell out of her hand and ran into the water.
Jessica and Ryan have recently gotten into experimenting with acro yoga, so they're going to teach us some of their moves. So we're here in Baltimore with Kevin from How to Sail Ocean.
Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends.
And if you'd like to follow our journey in real time on a map, receive postcards from our ports of call, and message us directly to the boat, you can go ahead and become a patron using the link in the description down below.